Hi, I'm Lucy James, and I listen to the One Up Gaming podcast.
Hello, Andy. This is Colin. I won't be able to get in tonight. I'm sweating like a pig.
So, still me, still Davey, still One Up Gaming, still episode 403 of the One Up Gaming podcast. 404 of the One Up Gaming podcast. So, we've been playing 7 or 8 games this week, so I'll quickly go through some of these. As always, sponsored by Games Inspired Music, and Google it, buy it, stream it, that type of thing. 20% of each sale will go to the Child's Play charity. We have our first 100 podcasts available, and that will just go to audiobooksontape.com, search One Up Gaming, and £1 of each sale will go to the Diabetes UK charity. So that is the plugs. We have our 3 books, but I think I've talked about them enough. So just search the unofficial PlayStation, the unofficial Sega Saturn, the unofficial Nintendo 64 collection on Amazon, and you'll find them. So please buy, share, like, all that good stuff. We'll go into the games played this week on episode 404. So first of all, we had a quick go at the, is it UFL? I don't know what it stands for. Ultimate Football League? UEFA Football League? I don't know. But it's the new free-to-play football game, soccer game that's coming out soon. There was the preview available to play, just to get your teeth into to see how it went. I felt as though it played very similar and looked very similar to how the eFootball, when it first came out, when it got all the really negative press with how it controlled and how it looked. I think this game looks and feels very similar to that. So I'd like to see how it improves over the next few months. But as it is, I won't be playing it again. It just didn't feel great, it didn't look great. But yeah, UFL, again, it is just like the beta, whatever you want to call it. So yeah. So the next game, I've only got the half of the title wrote down, because the full title is like 6 lines on a box. It's just stupid. So this is Wacky Wonderful Wallop, a 3D platformer, and it goes on about how the greatest platformer in the world ever, all this sort of stuff. And it is a really bad game. It's just one of those, like, it looks like one of those like free to make games, and it's got no detail, no background, really floaty physics. It is just a terrible game. It really is a terrible game. You can see the trailer if there is a trailer. If not, I'll just put my gameplay up. But you can see it is just a terrible game. I think they've just put like loads of keywords into the title just to see if people will click on it and see how it is, because I think it'd be like a cheap, nasty game. So then we're moving into more of the cubic sort of games, and we have ASMR slicing. Now this is just I had a quick go at this, and when I say quick, I mean after about 5 minutes I accidentally clicked the wrong button and it like cut the whole screen down, because I was using the mouse, because my gamepad needed charging. So I was like using the mouse, and I've got like my monitors stacked on top of each other, because I've only got a narrow sort of like cupboard. So I've got 2 monitors, one on top of each other. And on the game, if you're using the mouse, you have to hit the button and then drag down to slice. As objects made out of like that sand are sort of like moving across, you have to sort of slice bits off. And unfortunately, my mouse went onto the next screen where the OBS recorder was, and I hit the button on the monitor recorder, and it just took it off and it went black. So I've just cut that down. It's just like a 5-minute video. Everyone knows what it is. It's just a really cheap, basic sort of game. It's a nice little game. It's very relaxing and simple, like a lot of these sort of games from the 20th anniversary. So yeah, ASMR slicing. So next up we have Tennis Manager 2024. Now this game I could see myself getting into if I wasn't so stupid, because it's like you have a school, a franchise sort of thing, where you have 5 or 6 people and you have to train them up, enter them into tournaments, competitions, get better training facilities, all this sort of stuff. And then when you enter them into the tournaments, you can watch the full 3D match sort of being played. Then you can fast forward and skip and all that good stuff. And it was just really fun. I really enjoyed it. So I could see myself getting into it. I just don't understand tennis that much, and I'm not a big fan of tennis, but I do like these sort of games. So yeah, Tennis Manager 2024. Keep making them, keep improving them. Do what you're doing, lads. It's a really good little game. Next up we have World War One Isonzo Italian Front. I think that's how it is. And this is just like your classic Battlefront type game where you have a defending team and an attacking team. The defending team has to bunker down and defend their territory. The attacking team has to move from one territory over to the next to gain sort of like the point, and then you have to move along again to gain the next point, and move along again to get to the next point. And it looks good, it looked really good, played well. I'm just not a very good first person shooter game fan, and with this being a World War One style game, the gun that you start with is just one shot, takes 3-4 seconds to reload, one shot, 3-4 seconds to reload. And I did get onto a part of it where there was a guy who was like half on the ridge and half on the top, like going into the bunker, and I shot him 4 or 5 times and nothing happened. Then he sort of turned around and shot me once and I died. So I don't know if collision detection or whatever was just funky, but it just didn't feel like my sort of game. But if you're into first person shooters, into Battlefront style games, give it a go, see what you think. It's on the Game Pass, so yeah, no excuses. So next up we have the Callisto Protocol. Now this is just the spiritual successor to the Dead Space sort of games, made by the same sort of guys. And you can tell it's made by the same people. It plays very much similar to those sort of games. Looks amazing, the characters, the graphics are just so good. And yeah, I was really enjoying it. Very story focused, and I love that in these sort of games. So Callisto Protocol I would recommend really well. It's really fun, and it's just a shame that it didn't sell very well, because it looks as though it just didn't do very well. Same as like the Dead Space sort of games, looked amazing, played amazing, just didn't sell, which is a goddamn shame, because these are good games. And the last games that we played this week, again from the Cubic Games sort of collection, I played Pocket Mini Golf and Pocket Mini Golf 2. So the first one it's still full 3D, but it's more of a top down, small, like your classic mini golf sort of game, and it played really well, looked nice. Pocket Mini Golf 2 on the other hand, it looked a lot chunkier, it looked a lot more vibrant in colour and detail, and it was a bit more zoomed in, and both games were good, both games played really well. If you like mini golf, I think these were only a couple of quid each. Then have a look at these trailers and see what you think of these games, because I for one thought that it was a fun little game. So that is the games being played this week, so we'll be back next week. Gonna have a quick break now, and we'll be back with the 10 minutes of nothing. So David here, One Up Gaming, episode 404. Please subscribe, share, like, bell, all that good stuff, and we'll be back in a couple of minutes. So goodbye.